Tara Gooch, Carla Goldberg, and Gretchen Skalka all together at the same exact time. And I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here. I mean, so one of the things that I don't think anybody knows, unless you've actually been a guest on the show, is that we have an organizational DM. And this thing goes all week long, right? And so you get to see like how like what the machine looks like to get this thing together. And believe it or not, to put together like 12 new people that we're going to announce today is sort of a challenge, right? And we're finding out sometimes that I don't always communicate very clearly. And you know what? It's been amazing just to all week long, just to go back and forth. And you guys have all been so engaged. I've just had a great time getting that all put together. So a couple of housekeeping items, right? The first is, what is hotness unleashing? Okay, we need to define that. Why are we even here? All right, so hotness to unleash hotness happens when you pay attention to other people and their work in an intentional way. It isn't complicated, right? It's not weird. It's just paying attention to other people, and that's it, and using a funny name to do it. All right, so that's it. That's why we're here. We're here to pay attention to other people. So that in mind, I realized that the more I talk, the less interested people are. And so we're going to ditch the look back segment, right? That kind of happens in the middle. And we're going to go with just another round of Hotness Unleashing because, hey, why not? That's why we're here. Let's do more of why we're here. Okay. So we're going to celebrate that. So then the next thing we want to do is acknowledge our official sponsor, which is Infuse Media, my employer. And we are all about demand performance delivered. And what does this mean, right? I need to speak to this for a second, right? So bear with me. Demand generation marketers have some challenges, right? They need more help with audience intelligence. That is understanding the pain that their audience is experiencing. They need more help with content intelligence, right? They need to understand, like, does their content speak to the pain that their audience has? Are there gaps in that? And then they need distribution intelligence. How do they get that content out into the hands of their audience when they're feeling pain? And that's what Infuse Media helps with. And that's why we're here. That's why we exist. And I've been with them for 5 years and we are hiring, and I'm proud to work for them. So there is a note about our sponsor. So with that, I got some green foam here in the background. This is not actually turquoise. I know it appears turquoise, but the idea was I needed to try to get a better voice thing. And it's by miracle that it happens to match the logo. I don't know how that happened because it's actually Kelly green. Like I could take this to Ireland and fit right in. So with that, I am done. Tara, please take the stage. It is all yours. Let's hear what you've got for us this week.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Trevor, for having me on the show. This is my 6th straight LinkedIn Live appearance this week. So I have a voice still. It's incredible. I can't believe I can still talk.
And you sound clear as a bell.
Thank you. That's great. That's the goal. But thank you so much for having me here. So my goal with LinkedIn is to really inspire and motivate and help change people's lives in a very large way and a big scale. So I take a lot of pride in that. And I really want to build a network and community on LinkedIn. That's my goal. My goal is not to collect connections, but to really build a community. But I have an incredible opportunity to speak with NASDAQ at the end of next month. So November 22nd.
Very cool.
Holy Hotness.
Okay. So okay, NASDAQ. All right, now I know what NASDAQ is. That's where you go and you buy and sell stocks. So what is the NASDAQ Entrepreneurial Center? I don't even know what that is. Fill me in a little bit.
Yeah, so it's a branch of NASDAQ dedicated to uplifting and really just mentoring entrepreneurs all across the United States. But they have their own network. So they're a built-in network of entrepreneurs. And I will be speaking at it's called a fireside chat. So it's a virtual speaking conference with them. And we're going to talk about, LinkedIn and how to grow your business and your personal brand on LinkedIn. So it's really incredible. When I first got introduced with this opportunity, they actually connected with me and they reached out to me. So would have never imagined that, but they said,
did that come from like, the proverbial thing on LinkedIn where it's like the one connection? Was it that kind of an experience? Like, it's like, I knew this one person and they hooked me up.
Yes. So this all started from a comment on LinkedIn on somebody's post that was a second degree connection of mine in May, at the end of
Mm.
May. We formed a relationship. I followed their work. They appeared on a NASTech speaking event, and then I appeared on that same event as just somebody that was attending it, right? Well, I caught their attention, and they looked at my profile, and they said, "Wow, our entrepreneurs have two complaints. One is marketing, and the other is social media, and nobody knows what to do with either. And they have a network of thousands and thousands of entrepreneurs." So their number one complaint were these two things that I just happened to specialize in. So they saw my profile and reached out to me. And I had a chat with them the following week of how I can benefit their community. And then it was set up that same day. So, guys, it's a really good example. You never, ever know who is watching, ever. Just last week, I had a comment on a Social Saturday post, and it got the attention of a very large company in the United States with 10 branches. And now I'm going to be sending this company a business proposal next week.
Holy
So
smokes.
these are comments, guys. This is
Yeah.
not even a post. So literally your life can change on LinkedIn. I say that every day. But just this year, I started my full-time entrepreneurship journey. And from there, I've gotten so many contracts and opportunities. Really, it's been amazing. So put
Wow. I mean,
yourself.
that's such a great testimonial, right? I mean, it truly is. It's so inspiring because, sometimes I show up and I'm like, what am I doing? I don't know. Why am I
Yeah.
here? Why do I keep doing this? What is it that and, a big part of doing this particular show has just been, I wanted to learn how to do a show, right?
Yeah.
And it isn't just showing up and getting like the camera right and the audio and all that, right? There's all this planning and coordination and production that goes into it, right? So to your point, right? What an awesome experience you're having right now. I mean, just blowing up your business. And man, I'm like, thanks for showing up today. I mean, I know you're just like killing it and you're swamped and going crazy. So man, this is just fantastic. I love it. So thanks so much
Always
for
take time for marketing. Always.
well, I sell productized marketing services for a living. So I get that totally 100% right there with you 100% with you. Okay. So let's transition over to Carla. Carla,
Yes.
what do you have for us today? Because, whoops, I hit my camera holder. All right. Don't do that again. I know. Well, I start to dance a little bit, right. So I knock stuff over, but, all right, Carla, what do you got? Like tell us about what's on your mind, and yeah, I want to hear it.
So I am one of those hashtag transitioning teacher millions that are out there. But I actually got a job. So teachers, keep working on it. And I like to help teachers, and, I kind of give them tips, and I write a lot about trying to get jobs. But I was in teaching for 10 plus years in Alaska. I'm now in El Paso. I work for a bank doing instructional design. But one of my passions is working with groups that are underrepresented. And I spend a lot with the trans community, transgender. And as a teacher, I had my own teenagers who were coming home and telling me about kids that are bullied by students and teachers. And a lot of it was, I would like to think, just miseducation about what trans is from the adults anyway.
And then the impact on them.
Yeah. So
are you ready for me to show your slide?
Sure. Go ahead. Okay. So we all know suicide is awful and terrible, but within the trans community, it's higher than any other groups. And I'm not going to read the slide to you because y'all can read. But and of course, in Black communities and Latinx, those percentages are way higher. But basically, I want to kind of propose something to you, because everyone's like, well, is transgender real? They just want attention, blah, blah, blah. So think about, are you right-handed or left-handed? And some of you guys, 1%, are ambidextrous. And then I want to pose to you, because everyone knows right away, which they are. How do you know? How do you know you're right-handed? how do you know you're left? Did someone tell you that? Did someone say, this is what you're going to be? Now you're a left-hander, you were a right-hander? No, it's just something inside you that you know, and you don't know how you know, but it just happens. And, I could go into all the research, but there's a lot of research that talks about when someone changes gender, their brain actually functions like the gender they are choosing. And I know a lot of people just don't get it. I know it's hard to wrap your head around it. But the key thing is you don't have to understand it. I don't really understand how the clouds are blue or how the sky is blue. Someone can give me this whole dissertation about why, but I still don't get it. But it's blue. And it doesn't matter if I understand how or why, but it's still blue. So the key thing is we just need to have all these kids feel loved and cherished, because that's how, if they're feeling secure in who they are. And like in the picture, the two kiddos there, one of them is transgender, one is not. I don't remember which is which. You can't tell by looking anyway. But my focus that I love to do is help educators realize this is tragic what we're doing to our kids. We put a lot of money and emphasis in other kids who have different types of needs, and we're ignoring this group, and we're doing a lot of damage by not doing what this group needs to have done.
Yeah.
So,
man, you sent this slide over to me last night, and so I could prepare it for us here today, and I had no idea it was this high, right? I mean, I could guess maybe that it was going to be higher than this. This broke my heart. I mean, I practically burst into tears when I saw it. I just, I don't know how you can look at this and not be moved by the cultural damage that's being, wrought against, transgender people. And I just, thanks for bringing it up. I learned something, I put this up, and I really think we can do better. We have to do better, right? How can we tolerate 40% attempted suicide rate? I mean, that's ridiculous. That is insane. It's unacceptable.
Think about, most of these kids come to school, they're wearing a mask. They're trying to be either, covering up who they are or who they want to be. And if you're worried 24/7 at school about being outed, about someone noticing you have a binder to bind your chest to make it look smaller so you look more masculine, there's no way you can learn anything. These kids are going through school in a zombie, trying to, not be noticed. They're not lurking in the bathroom trying to molest your daughters. They want to go in and go pee and leave. They wait for everyone else to leave the bathroom so they can just go pee. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Well,
don't get me started.
Well, I got you started, but thanks for bringing this up. I mean, it's valuable. It's important. It's who you are. It's what you bring, right? Congratulations on transitioning. I know that there's so many people in our network that are working on that right now, and that's hard. And so well done on making that happen, and just well done on staying present with kind of your mission, right? And not losing sight of some of the things that maybe that became important to you, or maybe were, and you held on to that, right? So thank you for bringing that voice to this platform, and I think we're all better for it. So here we go. All right, so Gretchen, right? So you're gonna bring it home. What do you got for us? Like, what's your story that you're bringing to the table today?
All right, so I don't have a slide or anything special, but I'm special. No, anyway, so here's my deal. So I am I always joke that I'm a recovering marketing director, but I spent 20 plus years doing marketing and various companies. But during that time, starting in 2009, I also started coaching, and I started doing that to help people who were going through the first mass layoff I had ever seen. And so I started, like a lot of people start, with coaching, very traditional, very focused on the career aspect. And as my life has changed through the last many years, 13, so has my coaching practice. And so what I do now is I am a career strategist. I am a leadership development coach, but I do that through developing personal systems for my clients. And so what that means is it's very Oh, hi, I see people. So it's very bespoke is the word that has been used to describe it. But basically, people come to me when they have a career challenge, and through our work, what we find is that's the manifestation of something else that's happening in life, and so we work through all of that. So the success really happens in a very holistic way. It's the total picture, as they say. So it's an unconventional kind of career coaching, and I'm glad to get the opportunity to be here because it's also something that I think is really misunderstood by a lot of folks in terms of what it is, what that kind of support really entails, because there are so many different kinds of coaching available to people. And it's a wonderful kind of, type of support. Mine is very different from other people in the same space, but there aren't that many names to really attach to it. So we do what we can, but that is what I do. And so it's really bringing about the best in people, even when they don't think it's there, especially when they don't think it's there. And when they don't have any idea how to get through it. And again, that's all from personal experience. So all of that I bring through. And like I mentioned to you before we started here today, when you asked me if I would be on the show, I was like, really? I want to be on the show. But also then I was like, holy crap, that means I have to be on video. And I had a very, very public now 13-year absence from video and photography that I had to get through to be able to be here today. But it was really that important to me. And I want to thank you for that, for giving me the catalyst to make that happen, because that's also something that I work with my clients to do, is to move through those things and figure out, again, the systems, design something that works for their lives to get them through to that goal and beyond. So that's
Nice,
me.
man. Well, okay, so you're not the first guest who has like had to move through that, right? And like I didn't know, right? I just kind of bobble on, I'll just sort of show up on the video and listen. Like, oh, I mean, I wear a hat on purpose, right?
Yeah.
And I have glasses, and everything I'm doing right now, like all the lighting and how like the brightness of my monitor and is to deal with the fact that I have glasses, and if it's not right, I get tons of reflection, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I have to deal with the hat because I'm so dang bald. I can't stand looking at myself, right? So we have to get through these things. So
Yeah.
so well done.
Yeah, mine was a little different. The reason that I stopped doing photography and video, and I did a post about it, so I don't need to take up space for that. But it was a very, it's something I'll deal with forever. So, but it was
Okay.
something that I didn't want to deal with for. I was just made that decision.
Yeah.
But this really helped me kind of put a light on something that, really for anybody, if you tell yourself something long enough, it absolutely becomes part of your narrative. It becomes something you believe. So examine those things, examine what you're telling yourself. And yeah, I mean, for me, I don't have like special stuff. I'm the product of my own work. So, if that's helpful for anybody to get to know, if this is something that, resonates with you, then, we can talk.
Hey, thanks. I mean, thanks for working through it. Thanks for showing up, because you
Yeah.
could have said no, right? Believe it or not, I have had people say no. I was like, hell, I'm going to get on that show with you. Are you
Yeah.
crazy? I mean, so not everybody says yes. So, and you did. So thank you. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
I'm glad that it was a catalyst and that we were able to, just pound on through. All right. So,
I love this show, by the way, because of what's about to happen.
awesome. And to Lisa's comment, I've got every last reflective coating on my glasses that one can buy. It still reflects. So with that, we are going to move into round one of the Hotness Unleasher show. Okay, because we're going to get down to business now. All right. And this is the best part. This is the part that everybody likes. They're waiting for it. So why they tune in? Are they going to be named? And why didn't I get to name that person? So, Tara, you are our first person to announce a Hotness Unleasher of the week.
Ooh, so there's so many to choose from. It's so hard.
Isn't it crazy? It is hard.
So this is my person. So I am going to announce Donnie SC Ligoness as my Hotness Unleasher. And he is the person I've nominated. I love Donnie. He's great. So he's from Sweden. I've been on his show. He's been on mine. I've interviewed him. He's a 5-time TEDx speaker, and he also does TV appearances as well. But he's also an entrepreneur, and he really cares about people. He works at KTH Innovation, which is in Stockholm, Sweden. And then further with that, he also helps incubate startup companies all over the world. So this guy is on a mission to change lives, help entrepreneurs in a really mentorship level. But he's a great person, and he's got just a lot of really good energy. If you've ever watched his show, it's like he wakes up every day just with so much life in him. But gotta love Downey. So that he is somebody that I have come to know and really trust and admire and respect. And do you want me to announce anybody else?
Nope, not yet.
So one thing I've noticed about Donnie is he is like, who was the guy from the 80s? Billy Mays? Was that the guy who was like, hey, da, 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 I got this and this, da, 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 da. And he just like, he has this Monday morning thing and he just like, ah, and you're just like, whoa, you know, because I'm a little slow to wake up. But I love his energy. He's always positive, and it's just like, you can't, even though he's a lot to take in when he's doing his Monday, you know, he's reviewing everything that's happening throughout the week. It's just like, you just want to stop and just like, you know, your mouth goes open and you just stare at him as he's going along. So, I was watching one of his videos and he talks about the difference between being creative, having an invention, and being innovative. And if any of you out there are creator, innovator types, you need to go back and watch that video, because it like totally flipped in my mind what that whole process is about. So that was
how long ago did he publish that? I didn't see that one.
I don't know. I went to his posts and then like went through that way. Yeah.
He does come out as just like super energizer dude. That was my impression. Like, I didn't get a chance to spend a lot of time with his content, but yeah, like I totally got that.
I was just on his show this Wednesday, so we had a personal branding show with. I had it with Donnie on his show, Innovation with FICA. So really cool guy.
I am super curious, like how he. I mean, because a lot of times, well, I don't know much about the Swedish kind of entrepreneurial mindset, right? So that's something that sort of stands out to me a little bit. Like, does he talk about that in his content? Like how that came about? I mean, we got IKEA, right? And you know, but I mean, that's sort of an outlier. So how?
Yeah, I think KTH Innovation, where he works in Stockholm, they actually wrote the code for Spotify. So and then he's told me before that you know, in Stockholm you could throw a rock and hit another startup, and throw a rock and hit an innovation center, and throw a rock and hit something else. So he said it's just prevalent there. And one of the reasons he said it's prevalent is that I think it's every day they at 2:30 they do a coffee hour and just talk and get to know other people. And that's what FICA means in Swedish. FICA means like coffee chat, but it's like they talk about business, they talk about innovation, they talk about different things. So it's like a brain dump session really that they do religiously in Sweden. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, he's a good guy.
Nice. See, I had no idea about all that stuff. So awesome. I can't wait to get to know Donnie. He sounds like he's like all in on the Hotness Unleasher on here. Yeah, so thanks for bringing him to us. I mean, what more can you say, right? So Donnie, congratulations. You're a Hotness Unleasher. All right, Carla, who is your first Hotness Unleasher of the week?
All right. My number one pick is Justice Murray. Pronouns are they and them. And what I love about Justice is he is always positive. You know, it's real easy, especially in LinkedIn, to get a little snarky at people, and not necessarily at people, but things happening to you. And every single time Justice posts something, they are like on point. It's positive. They're writing a book. It's just, I can always count on them to say something great. And he was, I'm working on my pronouns too. they were one of the first coffee chats I ever did. And I reached out to them and said, hey, because they used to work in teaching and education. I was trying to make that transition. And I talked to them, and it was just totally awesome. And they're writing a book. It's just everything he posts is like one of these, oh, yeah, I got to think about me and take care of myself. And what do I want to do? And help focus on, what's really important in life. It's easy to get caught up in all that other junk. And so that's why I put justice as my number one.
Man, thanks for bringing them to the table here. One of the things I want to talk about, particularly in the context of what you've got, and I know Tara's maybe got a question or two too, but they, them, right? I really work hard on evolving with my pronoun usage, right? It's important, right?
Yeah.
And I don't want to like undermine that in any way. And I believe in it. And, it was one of these like employee, trainings. And I learned that disregarding or otherwise being cavalier or dismissive of pronouns, particularly in a professional context, is harassment. And that changed everything for me, right? I didn't get that. And I've learned that, and I work very hard on it. So I appreciate that you've brought justice here, and we can highlight them and say, yes, bring it, all about it.
Yeah, they did a whole post about, showing up authentically, and how that is just terrifying. It can be just terrifying for folks to do that. And they were really, it was just such a vulnerable share, but it was so important because I have seen that exact sentiment. I can't tell you how many times I've seen that sentiment of, people who are just terrified to be themselves. Mm-hmm. And, in a world that says you can be anything and blah, 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 there are people, and trust me, I believe that, all fair points. However, it's not a universal playing field right now. And so that is a very important topic. And yeah, they're a good one to follow. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I'm going to do it. Tara, have you found LinkedIn to be a safe place for these kinds of things?
I think so, and it may not, again, LinkedIn has really changed and evolved. We've talked about that off air, plenty of times, but it used to be everybody, their profile picture was button up. Everybody seemed to just wear a mask. You didn't really get to know anybody. And I've been on LinkedIn for going on 7 years now, and I've seen the transition happen, and it's been amazing. But now we're seeing so many people come to their authentic self, show up as their true person, and not be afraid to come out and say, this is my preferred pronoun. This is how I love. This is how I express love and what it means to me and why. And, that's awesome. And
yeah,
I'm all about, being inclusive, and everybody has a voice and shows up and belongs. So
love it.
Yeah, it's important. Yeah.
It's huge. It's one of the things when I was still, I was a hiring manager and department head for 10 and a half years. And it's one of the things that, you are bringing in and onboarding and working with the entire person, not their profile, not their list but the person. So everything about them comes to work with them every day. You can't pack it away. It doesn't stay in your briefcase. So, and I'm with you. I love the change in LinkedIn because that is really, you want to know the person that you're going to be, we spend a lot of time at work and with the people we work with. It's got to mean something. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right. Thanks. Thank you for just filling that in. We can just talk about it and yeah, what more can we say? All right. So with that, we shall say no more because we're going to move on to Gretchen's Hotness Unleasher of the first one of the week.
The first one, my first one, and I'm going to do a Stavina. Thank you for giving me this idea.
All right.
She did this on her. So Mina Bianucci. So Mina is very much below the radar, but Mina is a literally tireless advocate for the welfare of animals. And her focus on LinkedIn is primarily dogs, rescue dogs. But you could see her animal activism everywhere if you get to know her. She has really opened a lot of people's eyes about what happens to animals who are overbred, who are holiday bred, who are discarded for all kinds of reasons that will blow your mind. But there's always a positive uplift on this. And again, she'll get real with you. She'll let you know what's going on. But there's always positive. Here's a link to somebody who's helping. Here's a link to a way that we can help this organization or this person or this family or this foster. So I really she's so under the radar. But, she posts educational content. She'll post, obviously the real stuff when there's an animal who's truly in need. And I just really would like to get more people to know about what she does, because anything that helps animals, I'm all about it. And I'm obviously, I think it's fair to say I'm crazy for my dog Newman. So anything that helps other animals, I am all about it. So she's mine, first one.
It's so fun to talk about dogs on LinkedIn. I mean, that's another thing we can all bring these days, right? Bring your dogs to the workplace, right? Bring your dogs to LinkedIn. Erica Taylor Beck, she's got a rescue dog.
Yes.
Right? And she posted, she's been talking about this one.
Ashton. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm following Ashton, right? I'm like, go get him, and it's so great. And how did you find Mina?
So I kind of had something. I was doing some work with a local rescue, and I'm considering a foster right now because Newman needs a buddy. And but she's been on my radar for a little while. But in the last, I would say probably 8 months, I've really doubled down on watching her and what's happening with her and the updates that she posts about when a rescue happens and a foster happens, and she'll update people with pictures and other things, but she's just sort of been out there doing her thing. And it's one of those, she's committed, I mean, she doesn't have a gazillion people who have eyes on her, but she gets it done and she stays with it. So yeah, she is, And I have been loving following Ashton's adventure with Erica, who I met or learned about on this show. So yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Now, Tara, do you have any, I can't remember. Are you a dog person?
I've got two. Yeah, I have a chocolate Pomeranian that is, well, he's chocolate. He looks like a little meatball because he goes over grandma's house too much and eats. And then I have a half German Shepherd, half Husky mix that sheds all year long, guys. Nobody told me.
Oh no.
365, 24/7. I can't believe the tumbleweeds that are in my house right now.
Yeah.
Oh, brutal.
But it's fun. They're great. Love them.
Carla, do you have any pets?
Yeah, we're down to a dog and a cat, which is good.
Okay.
Both from the pound. And in fact, our dog, Miska, she's like a lab, long-legged greyhoundy mix or something. And she came with the name Miska, so we looked it up because it's like, that's a weird name. So we looked it up, and it was God's gift. So we thought, perfect. And it was in Hebrew, and my husband was raised Jewish, so it's like, obviously, it's our dog.
Hey, there you go. Perfect. That's perfect. That's
so
perfect.
Cool.
So we have two dogs, and one of whom I've photographed a few times. Both of whom I've, I put them up all the time because I love them. I mean, they're the best. So one is kind of a designer, right? She's a Vizsla Lab mix, and she's just super high energy. And then we adopted a rescue a couple years ago. Her name's Evie, and she is the laziest, fattest lab mix. She came to us and she was just like, just like a waif. And now she's Walter. Just y'all know Walter the farting dog. I mean, she looks like that dog. And
so
but she's so great. And such an asset and such a lover. Yeah, it's all about rescuing dogs, and they just add like my heart breaks anytime I hear like, oh, I can't take care of a dog. I'm like, well, guess what? When you do that, you actually come out ahead because they give back so much more than they take.
It's the best stress relief there is. If anybody knows anything better than sitting petting your dog, cuddling with your dog to take the blues away from a bad day, I don't know it, because it's the best.
Yeah, and picking up the poop isn't really that big a deal either. It's just not.
No.
It's just not. It's just don't worry about it. So, I mean,
yeah,
whatever.
I spent a lot of years. I mean, I grew up with animals on a farm, but I spent a lot of years without my dogs because I got attacked by a dog, and it changed everything. But Newman is only my second one since that happened in '87, and it was 12 years between my dogs until I was ready again. So it's been a process. So all that is only to say I'm justified for being crazy for my dog.
There you go. All right. So it's my turn to go. All right. So we're going to move on to my Hotness Unleasher of the week. And oh boy, I've got 3 here. So now I am in the enviable position of not only do I get to pick you, which are sort of my like de facto Hotness Unleashers, right? But I get to pick 3 more. And then I get to do it next week too. And the week after. So it's great. And I get to think about this and really just sort of, all right. So the first person I'm going to call out is Clay Gill. And Clay has been on my radar really since the beginning of my journey here with the Social Saturday experiment and LinkedIn 2.0, right? I don't know. We just kind of crossed paths. I saw that he's a big supporter of mental health, and he talks about that. He's really transparent about ADHD, and for better or worse, I know a lot about ADHD. I know how it's treated. I know how underdiagnosed it is and how serious it is, and how this notion of attention deficit being thing that just qualifies for 5-year-old boys is completely irresponsible, in my opinion. But then Clay, he's got the Work Your Butt Off. Have you guys seen Work Your Butt Off? I mean, have you seen this? And it's not a typo. B-U-T. I love Work Your Butt Off. It speaks to me. Like, it's like, because I'm a butt guy. I'm like, well, I can't do this because but I can't. But all of this energy goes into why I can't do stuff, right? And it's like, here's Clay, like, he comes up with this thing that makes so much sense when you look at it. It's like, why didn't I think of that? Right. And it's just the awesomest. So I am going to get some of his merch. I'm absolutely going to dive in on that because
have you seen his shirt?
Yeah.
That has butt and then there's a line through it. So no butts.
It's brilliant. Right. It is just brilliant. And so for me, it's like, no, like he and I don't hang out on DMs very much, or, maybe here and there. And it's like, so what? Because when I found that, I was just like, oh, dude, you got it. Right. You totally just encapsulated so many challenges that I deal with. And I think that so many of us deal with. And so like, man, just keep going, because that literally unleashed hotness in me when I saw it. I just got all excited and, was dancing and stuff like, I got to, and I don't usually just like hit it that hard, but he totally did.
I really appreciate his writing craft. I'm a writer, and he starts out with this lovely one-liner and then goes, and I'm thinking, oh, that's the end of the post because that was such a great one-liner. But no, then he's got like stuff that backs it up. And it's like, it's good. And he's very funny. He's really talks about humor being underrated, which I can totally appreciate because I'm right there with him.
Yeah, he just seems so authentic, and I'm thrilled that he's in my network. I can't wait to get to know more, and yeah. So here we go with that. So Clay, you're my Hotness Unleasher, my first Hotness Unleasher of the week. All right, so now round 2 is about to begin. So that means that I'm going to turn off Clay's slide, and we're going to take the floor back to Tara. So who is your second Hotness Unleasher of the week?
Well, Donald Cohen, Donald Cohen and I, we have become friends here on LinkedIn, and we met through a comment, and it turned out that we're both really into LinkedIn Lives. So we've committed every single Friday, as long as we can, as long as our schedule allows, to do a LinkedIn Live show together. So we meet at 9 o'clock Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern Standard, and we do a LinkedIn Live show together every Friday. And it's usually about LinkedIn Live and the benefits of it, or it's things that we've discovered on LinkedIn that helped us that week that are pertinent to the audience that they can also benefit from. So we talk about all sorts of things regarding LinkedIn and how you can utilize it to its fullest benefit so that you can have success on here as well. But Don, this is what he specializes in. So he actually owns his own consulting firm, and it specializes in LinkedIn Live. So it just helps, gain clients traction, reach, and visibility in a unique way. And again, in business, there's a saying: you operate at 1-to-1 leverage, or you can operate at 1-to-many. And when you operate at 1-to-1, you don't grow. So you just don't. But by utilizing other people's networks and by collaborating and networking, just like this, what we're doing today, you're actually operating at a 1-to-many leverage. So right now, this is on all of Trevor's channels. It's on all 5 of mine as well on Restream. So we're reaching thousands of people just by working together. And that's the power of collaborating. And then you also meet as a mastermind, and you're able to bounce ideas off of each other. And he's a really smart guy. He's been an entrepreneur his whole life and has started many businesses and is extremely successful guy. So this is somebody you really want to connect with. He can take you to the next level, and I just really like working with him. He's a genuine person.
Love it. I when you brought him up, we're getting ready for the show, and I went out and I was like, who's this guy? I needed, I gotta see this. And he's like, yeah, LinkedIn Live, just right, like the whole way down. And so I listened, and he's like, this is it, because you're real. You're right here. You're available. You can speak, and I'm going to be available to you,
Yep.
To speak into whatever it is. And it's like, the one I watched was about, stalling out, right? Like, what is it? How does that happen? Why do we deal with that? So, I'm excited to get to know, Don, and watch some of his stuff, and maybe pick up a live or two of your guys's. That's gonna be great. Yeah.
Every Friday we're on.
Okay, perfect. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, Carla, who is your second Hotness Unleasher?
I'm aware of the time, so I'm trying to make sure we get through everybody. So she goes by Dr. Lulu. And her pronouns are pay, her, and hers. I do not know what pay is, P-A-Y. I looked it up. I couldn't find it. It was trying to give me all kinds of other things. So if you know in the comments, please let me know. What I love about her is she is totally authentic and real. She's done several TEDx speaking events. She's a pediatrician. She's the mother of a trans child. And when the trans child came out to her, she was like, no, all those things that, as a parent, we want the best life for our kid, and we want all obstacles to disappear. And by just saying you're trans, it immediately puts up obstacles that weren't there before. And we all know life is hard enough without any obstacles. But she spends a lot of time educating doctors how to work with trans patients, because most of them have like maybe 5 hours of training. And she also helps families deal with what does it mean when a child comes out as trans, and how do you let go of all those, images of walking them down the aisle, having babies, all those things that as parents we put into a kid. And that's just, it's normal humans, we want to have great things for them. And how do we reshape all those dreams and shift them into a different direction that we were not going at all? So but she does a lot of live, just talking what's on her heart, and she's just so authentic and real. That's just what I love.
Love it. I was trying to get to know her a little bit last night through her content. I had that same feeling of just like, I am all here, right? Like that was the vibe I got. And like, I'm all like, every part of me is invested in transparency and support and the issue of trans support and LGBTQ issues and all of it. Right. And even if you don't like me, I still love you. Right. I was like, that's what came through. And yeah, so I super pumped when you brought her to the table and can't wait to get to know her better and follow her story and support her like crazy. Cause you know, what else can we really do? So absolutely. So there you go. Hotness Unleasher of the week. All right. Yes. And we do have a time issue because we are running out of it. All right. So here we go. All right. So Gretchen, you are up. Your second Hotness Unleasher of the week.
My second Hotness Unleasher of the week is my friend, Maddie. You gotta know Maddie. So I met Maddie in a training group. He is a coach. He is committed to helping young fathers just basically be the best. He has this thing that he says where I can't promise you can have everything, but you can have anything. And it's all just a matter of like, you know, that mindset. And he is hilarious. Let me just say, he's got this sort of understated humor that I'll read his post and I'm just like, you know, because sometimes he comes off with things and I'm like, oh, I see what you did there, you know, but he's good. If you're like a young dad, you know, who's, you know, you've got something going on and you just need to talk. You just want to be like, I am not the only one going through, like the other day, waking up to vomit on the floor. I mean, it's life, right? It happens. Mm-hmm. And how do you deal with it? So Maddie's a gem. He really is. And I think everybody should know him. So that's why he's my Hotness Unleasher.
Well, you know, I actually have to take issue with the young fathers part of this because I'm not a young father. Okay. I don't longer count as that. But man, as I was watching him too, you know, like, oh yeah, Maddie, dude, he's a Dutchman, right? So he's in Utrecht, right? I've actually, it's a place I've actually been, believe it or not. Mm-hmm. And I have a cousin in Holland, you know, third or fourth, whatever. But so, and she's got 4 kids too. And I'm like, oh yeah. Okay. So got this kind of connection and I can sort of, you know, I've been there. I kind of feel like, okay, I sort of have an idea of where he is. And I think that kind of helps a little bit for me, at least, in trying to like relate to Maddie's world and maybe some of his perspective that, you know, Holland's a different place than the US. Right. And what can I learn from his, you know, his perspective, right?
There's a universal shared experience that we all really do have. And geography notwithstanding, that universal shared experience is a lived experience that we all have every day. So yeah, I mean, it's so great to connect with other people. So I'm so glad to tell people about Maddie.
All right, Maddie, dude, you are a Hotness Unleasher of the week. All right, so my second Hotness Unleasher is going to be Nathan Hill. And Nathan, like, so I don't totally follow all of his content, right? I mean, he's pretty prolific and he's got a lot to say, but the reason that I'm going to name him is because he's like always around. I see him all the time, right? And I see like his content and stuff. And he reached out to me about a week ago, and I got to tell you, it was so sincere and so just kind-hearted. I had to like sit down. I read the note to my wife, and I was like, it was validating for me, and it was just thoughtful. And because, you know, hosting a show like this is hard, right? It takes energy. It takes a lot of work. And for him just to come kind of in a backdoor way and explain to me, you know, one-to-one how it affected him, and it meant the world, right? It literally just meant the world. And so in that moment, it was like, and ongoing, it's like, that's what it means, right? That's how we do this, right? We take a moment and we pay attention. And he did that. And so this, to me, for me, this is a thank you, right? Like, hey, look, I want to open that up and acknowledge that and say, Nathan, you got me, right? You got me, man. Yeah. And that's really all I can say. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. It's been a real treat. Okay, so in the interest of time, we are going
Yeah.
to roll. I don't want to miss anybody. So, Tara, your last Hotness Unleasher of the week.
Jenny Maxwell.
Yay!
She
Love
is,
Jenny.
yes, she is a mindset coach, and we've done LinkedIn Lives together, but we have a lot in common. We both work with clients on mindset. She does it exclusively. So this is what she does, and she is fabulous. I attest to her. We've talked on the phone many times. She's brilliant. So reach out to Jenny, because we all think when we get here, we're going to get a coach. Well, guess what? You can't get here without one.
Without
I'm
a
just
coach,
going to
yep.
say that to every single person watching this show. If you want to get to level 10, you got to work with someone that's already there. Okay? Work with a coach. Find somebody that you love. Find somebody you have a connection with that is already there. That's how you do it. You work with the best.
Nice.
Preach it.
Nice.
Yeah, she's amazing. I'm gonna have a chat with her on Monday. I'm so looking forward to it.
Well, aren't
And
you
she would
lucky?
love your background, your Kelly Green background. She would be very happy with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's got the whole Irish thing going. That's nice.
That's right.
Perfect.
That's
That's
right.
perfect.
She's
Yeah.
awesome. Gosh.
But you can see that her shamrocks are or clovers or whatever
Delightful.
are actually green. Mine are something else. They're not translating. All right, Jenny, you are a Hotness Unleasher of the week. Congratulations. Okay, so Carla, who is your second or third?
We can count. My next one is David Fano. And if you read any of my stuff, you know I absolutely love teal. If you're looking for a job and you are not on teal, I don't know. I don't believe in slapping people, but it makes me want to go, ah! You have to be on teal. It's free and it is amazing. He's the founder and CEO of teal. And it has a job tracker. All you have to do is it's an add-in you can put in your Chrome or whatever. And like if you're looking at a job on LinkedIn, you open up the teal app and it'll pull in, click apply, it'll pull in all that stuff. It'll do a analysis of your resume versus the job description and tell you where you lack. It is even good if you already have a job. There's a part of it called the work style. And what I loved about it is when it's like a little quiz, but it's all focused on work. And I learned real quick, I'm more of a numbers, I go in and I want to work. I don't want to do chit chat. I don't want to talk about the weekend. All that is frivolous to me. But I learned my coworkers need that. So I have to stop who I am and I have to have those interactions and I have to force myself, when I do an email, I have to say, so how was your weekend? Normally I would just like, this is what I need, or here's what we're doing. So it's an amazing resource, even if you already have a job. So
Yeah.
Nice. I had no idea about teal, so I really appreciate that. That's great.
It's so amazing. When I first started, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta get on this before they start charging people for it. I mean, it's that good.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Yes.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to. So thank you for bringing that up because I didn't know David. Now I do, and I mean, even though I was connected to him, we haven't really hung out or anything. So, teal, all about it. Awesome. Can't wait. All right, Gretchen, you're third.
Just like David and Teal helping job seekers everywhere, so is my third one, Laurel Denny. So if you don't know Laurel, she has a rich history in recruiting for somebody who only just turned 28, but she's amazing. She is literally all about helping people find and figure out, and she's bringing tips and she's helping people, and she's just such a joy. Like, I love her content, and she's all about helping people. Just like that, the Teal service with David Fano, like, he has so many great things there, and she does too. She brings it every day, and I think so many more people should connect with her because she is such a joy and such a help. And she's just all positive energy. So more of that out there for everybody. Yes.
Yeah, I she had this post, last night, and I had to comment. Because she was about to turn 28. Yeah. And it was all the things that I had learned. And I'm like, yeah. And the other thing is how young you are.
Exactly. I was like, how do you have this wisdom for only 28 years old?
Yeah.
but I mean, yeah, she's really helpful. She's so good. Yeah.
Thanks for bringing her to the
Yeah,
table.
I know. I didn't want to take up too much time, but yeah, she's so
no, it's okay. So we don't want to shortchange anybody, but but I'm gonna run with this sort of job seeker support help theme, because my third Hotness Unleasher of the week is a dude that I met. Oh gosh, I don't know, a while ago, 3 or 4 months ago maybe, and he has turned out just to be like just a massive superstar in my world, and it's Jared Robin. And I gotta tell you, he's pretty famous, okay, on LinkedIn. I mean, he's got 35,000 followers or whatever, and I swear every single one he knows and talks to every single one of those people, and like he's a massive, just like right there kind of guy, and he founded Rev Genius. He tells a whole story about that, and if you don't know what that is, it's a community for salespeople and marketing and rev ops, and it's kind of where they can kind of go and hang out, and it's great. It's very high quality as well. Well cared for and well developed. They just hosted a big virtual event that was totally free called RevCon. But the big reason that I wanted to bring him out this week was because a good friend of mine, Julie Nestor Smith, Judith Smith Nestor was a guest, right? And she lost her job. And it sucked, right? Because she was so pumped about it. And it was hard, and it was like just really emotional. And so I was sort of part of that, witnessing that kind of come together or unfold. And Jared literally was an angel, right? So he came alongside her, took time out of his life, helped her to open up, to new opportunities. And she's going to be making a big announcement on Monday. So
that's amazing. Yeah.
I know. Bam, bam, bam. And Jared Robin, all right, that guy, I tell you what, if you don't know him, you need to get to know him, because that guy is a Hotness Unleasher every single day of the week. And I'm going to go down in flames with that one. All right.
Yeah.
He
is amazing. I mean, I've been following Breeze Break for a while, but in her journey, and she is now, in that group as well, with him, and he's definitely inspirational, but he walks the walk, right? He does, all the outreach, all the good stuff, all the stuff that we all want people to do, and he does it, and he's got a huge platform to do it, which makes it even more important, because a lot of times when people get to a certain level, they kind of forget where the stairs are to help people back up. Mm-hmm. But he does not do that, and I think it's wonderful. Yeah, I'm so glad you picked him.
He's inspiring, like literally, just like how do you have that many people who want a piece of you and still have something left, and it just. Oh yeah. So that guy, inspirational, Hotness Unleasher, bam, right there. All right. So with that, we have 2 minutes left. All right. So we have a little bit of time just to close it down here. I want to say thank you. Right. And Tara, what do you got coming up this week that you're excited about?
So many things. I've got a bunch of LinkedIn Lives coming up, and I'm working on wrapping up my online personal branding LinkedIn course. So that's going to launch on 11/25, y'all. So it's a very intensive program. And I'm going to teach people how to go from zero to superstar on LinkedIn. So it's going to be
wait. All right. Can't wait. November 25th. Okay. Very good. All right. So Carla, what are you looking forward to?
I am going to DevLearn. It's a conference for trainers, and going to learn about e-learning and virtual reality, all types of new ways. And I turned 54 on Wednesday.
Happy birthday!
Well done. Yeah. Okay. Woo! Congratulations. Well done. You made it that far.
Yeah, right. Well, my grandparents lived to like 102 and 101. So I'm just halfway there.
There you go. All right, Gretchen, what are you cooking next week?
Well, as Carla's elder, I turned 53 on, actually I'm not your elder, but on the 1st. But so this week I'm putting the finishing touches on a group program that I'm going to be unveiling in January. And so we will test it in November and then roll it out in January. So I know we're out of time, but we'll talk more about it later. But yeah, this has been so great. I'm so glad I did this.
Yes.
Awesome.
This
has
been
so fun.
I have just loved having y'all here, and I'm going to be a little bit quieter. My post activity will be a little bit different because I got to fly to Florida first thing Monday morning, be back Thursday. So that was supposed to happen. Then Hurricane Ian happened, and then I didn't get to go. But that's,
yeah.
I'm actually going to go now. So, yeah, looking forward to just hanging out with my colleagues and going out and learning some new stuff. So, with that, I want to just say again, thank you so much. Thanks to all the people that joined into the comments. Thanks to Jamie Edwards for hosting the comments today. And we're going to shut her down. All right, people, take care.
Bye.